I fucking hit him. I hit him, but he didn't fucking die, and I dodged, but the button didn't work. It's fucking bullshit. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Loading Podcast, the podcast where we chat video games, Toy Stories, and everything in between. This week's guest is Dan Olds, who is the drummer in a band called Palm Reader. We just had an amazing chat about his experience picking up the Souls games for the first time, what he thinks of the latest Switch OLED model, doing a manic 30-hour stream of Kingdom Hearts, I think it was. We throw some Toy Stories in there, loads of other bits. It's a really cool episode. We're really excited about it. I am your co-host, Matt Ombler, and with me is Matt West, who is also another massive fan of the Souls games. West, what is it you love so much about the Souls games?
The challenge more than anything. I think that's what struck me the first time around, and just the fucking weird game design. Like, it's just odd.
Miyazaki,
you know what I mean?
Miyazaki the boss.
It's just like, it feels like, sometimes it feels like you're fighting the boss. Sometimes it feels like you're just fighting the controls. But it always feels like fair in such a strange way, which it doesn't sound like it would be after that description. But like, a lot of the time, like, if you're dying, it's because you're crap, and you just need to learn the mechanics.
I think it's one of those love-hate things where, like, you pick it up for the first time, you kind of go, what the hell is this? And then when you actually figure it out and master it, that sense of satisfaction you get from finally taking down a boss after being slaughtered for the first 40 or 50 times, throwing your controller on the floor, or at least that's what I do. I'm not scared to admit it. I'm a man. Losing, crying like a baby, and then just smashing it. Like, it's sick. We put some questions out to our followers, just asking them to share their favourite Souls memories. 'Cause I think this is the one cool thing about the Souls games, where everybody's kind of got their own unique stories, because everybody plays the games differently. What build do you normally play, actually, out of curiosity? Have you got like a go-to build?
Normally it's just generalist. Nothing. I don't normally spec into anything crazy. I'm not like, it's normally a one and done for me. Like, I'll play through it and then I'm happy with a playthrough of it. I don't normally delve into the PvP or anything like that, but I normally try and do a completionist playthrough. So it'd be like, I try and get everything done in one go. And it's just, I don't know. What's that?
I have the patience to do it.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. But yeah, I normally just go for just high strength, just like, I'd never want to be fat rolling ever under any circumstance. I never want to be like absolutely tanked up that I can't move. I normally like pick a weapon that I like towards the beginning, and unless something shit up comes up, I'll normally stick with it and just like go through with like one type. Always a spear, because it's got the range. Always a spear, and then normally just like a short sword.
I just go pure magic, because I'm a little scumbag. Just pure.
Oh, I can't do it. It's just so
pure range, just sorcery, just snipe people away with spells. Just taking a look through now at like some of the comments we got from like other people. This is one of the funniest ones, which I actually completely fucking forgot to mention on the episode, but I'll mention it now. This comes from my mate Josh Klein, who says, I spent fucking days trying to get past the Black Knight archers in Anno Londo, did it, went out for a cig with the game paused, and when I came back, me had binned the character off the side and he had to do it again. Piece of piss. I'd never seen, I didn't know what Souls was at that time. So Josh just went out for a cig, and I was like, right, I'm just going to pick up the pad and just carry on. And I died. I just kind of thought, I've just died. I'll just respawn, like, close. Like, yeah, he was so sick when he got back.
I can imagine. I'd be irate.
This is another funny one. This comes from Foxy McDoodle. I recently replayed Dark Souls 2. My daughter had just been born and I would stay up all night with her playing it. I was around the Sentinels fight and was really struggling. I fancy myself a bit of a Souls veteran and usually find the games pretty easy, but couldn't figure out why I was struggling so badly. I watched some videos on the fight and to my amazement saw that you could block. I had played to this point with a broken left bumper and hadn't realised, and due to the tiredness of being up all night, completely forgot about blocking. How do you play through a Souls game without blocking?
Oh my fucking God. You can't.
Similarly though, Ruby Please, not a big story, but I've only been able to parry Gwyn, which is funny because that's the final boss. Gwyn's solid to parry. I don't think I've ever parried. I don't think I've parried on Souls.
Oh, full stop ever.
Patience for it.
I think
because I was magic anyway. It's like
I think I did. It doesn't matter. I've done it a couple of times in like against like Dreglins and stuff. Nothing like impressive. Like I've never really parried a boss or anything like that. I've never fucking parried Gwyn. I'll tell you that much.
And then there's one more. This made me howl because I think everybody can relate to this. This comes from Day to Remember. I talked to the blacksmith who can craft fire weapons. Unfortunately, I think this is in Dark Souls 1. Unfortunately, a wheel skeleton attacked me while I talked to the blacksmith, so the skeleton killed me, and because I couldn't move, it killed the blacksmith, so I couldn't craft fire weapons anymore. We've all accidentally killed a blacksmith or an important NPC and just gone, what have we done that for?
I remember doing it in Demon Souls was the first one I played, and I remember being like, don't like the look of this character, I'll fuck him off. And it's like, oh, well, no, I can't learn magic at all. I think it was like, yeah. I was just like, oh, yeah, fuck him. And then just, all right, well, that's a whole branch of the game that I'll never get to experience now.
I don't like the look of this dickhead. I'm just gonna take him down, perfectly innocent NPC.
Yeah, Raid, see what happens. No, just turn it off and turn it back on and it'll be fine. Absolutely not.
Sack him off. Right. Yeah. Without further ado then, let's just jump straight in. Hope you guys really enjoy this episode. We thought it was a fun one. Please stick around and listen to the end. And if you haven't already, give us a like on socials. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at loading_podcast. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the episode. Dan, tell me about how you've been. What have Pam really been up to? What have the last fucking horrendous 18 months been like for you and the band? Let's fucking go.
All right. Personally, the last 18 months have been brilliant. Like, I came back from Japan a little bit earlier than I expected because of Big Rona. And then just started trying to do everything that I wanted to do, but work got in the way, like take up Twitch streaming, taught myself graphic design, did an electrician's course, so I got a little bit of that under my belt. Fucking bought a house, all of it. Big boy.
Wow.
Yeah. So like it was nice to have some time off and start doing some things.
So we've all been suffering through the pandemic, and it sounds like you've been fucking. It just sounds like you've been
laughing. I don't want to go back to work.
Right. Yeah. Fair. Yeah. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's been all right.
What was the visit to Japan for then?
Just holiday. My missus used to live out there for about 4 years, and I've never been, so I just wanted to go on holiday. We were supposed to go for a month, like proper doing all the travel-y bits, but we went, I think, like 2 or 3 days before the UK went in lockdown. So we're like, all right, we've escaped that, and then the further along the holiday went, it was just, all right, this is getting serious. Like, okay, maybe we shouldn't get on that crowded train. Maybe we shouldn't go to that restaurant. And after a while, it's like, oh, let's just go home because I don't want to be stuck in Japan for however long.
I mean, there's worse places to be stuck.
Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure.
I was there around a similar... Sorry, Karen.
No, I was just going to say, getting back, we realised that, we probably would have been better off stuck in Japan.
Yeah, I was there around a similar time as well in beginning of January last year. I was on holiday. Nice. And it was just as it was like breaking out in China, and people were talking about it, and we're like, oh, it won't be too bad. And then as we were there, like last week of February we were there,
Yeah.
And everywhere, like all the Japanese shops started selling out face masks and stuff, and we were just like, "Oh, this is fucking weird."
Just getting real.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, it's freezing cold," so I had like a sore throat at one point. I was like, "Fucking, I've got to fly home at some point. I hope I'm not fucking like bringing it back with me." But we were fine. We were fine.
Patient zero at home.
I know. Fucking imagine.
I like it. It was fucking. Our initial flights, we were supposed to fly through Chengdu in China and then on to Japan. And then we were like, it should be fine. It's in Wuhan. It's ages away. Chengdu is like the next city along from Wuhan. So like, fuck, all right. Maybe we should cancel those flights and see if we can get new ones. But yeah, we just went through Amsterdam, I think, which was much better.
I've got to ask you both though, because Japan is literally like, in terms of like everywhere I want to go in the world, like Japan is like number one, top of the list, just because obviously there's so much gaming stuff, there's so much anime stuff that like I'd just go with like 2 extra suitcases and just bring back loads of random shit. Like, did you manage to like grab anything while you were out there, Dan? Because West, I think you brought back like a fucking monolithic amount when you were stacked the shelves.
Yeah, a fair amount.
Double-sided. Jesus.
Yeah, and there's more in the loft.
Amazing.
It's dangerous. If you collect anything at all, it's a paradise. Like, you could be into like the most strange specific thing in the world, and they'll have like 20 of them on a shelf in mint condition for like a third of the price that they'd have at home. It's fucking wild. It's good though.
It's so overwhelming. Like, I'd go, Akihabara. Yeah. And I was telling myself, oh, this would be amazing. Like, it's like gaming paradise and all that. And the moment I walked into a shop, I was just sort of like broke down. So I don't know what to do. This is too much. And
I always find it strange as well. Like, there's like certain things, certain shops and stuff that you should look in and shouldn't while you're there, because like you can walk into one store and it'll have something and you go, oh, that's a good price, and then you'll walk down the street and it'll be the exact same for a third of what you just paid, and it's like, I'm not going to go and try and return this. Do you know what I mean?
No.
You have to be quite savvy. Like, Akihabara is like quite bad for some parts of it, like quite tourist trappy. Like, they understand that like it's where all the tourists go, so they'll just bang a load of shit in like a glass cabinet and charge like 20 times more than it's actually worth.
Yeah,
but, I love it.
Because we stayed in Yokohama, and the first day that we were properly there, we're just like, we'll just go around Yokohama, see what's what. And they've got like loads of those like secondhand shops, just with old toys. And we found like a fucking, I don't know, probably about that big Bowser statue for the equivalent of 20 quid. And then later down the holiday, we went into actual Tokyo, and it was like, oh, that's about 100 quid. It's like,
it's mad.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going a bit further out into like Osaka and Nagoya as well, like out that way. Most major cities have a mandarake, which is like, oh, that's like heaven. It's just like secondhand toys and nothing else. And they're the next, if you get to go again, like, I'd recommend just doing a tour of them essentially. Did you go to that really tall building in Akihabara? Like, it looks like just a huge black monolith.
I can't remember. Maybe.
What is it?
Yeah, that's Mandarake. It's like the secondhand like toy chain that they have there, and it's just wild. And then if you go a bit further out, there's a place called, you've got me on a fucking tangent here, Ombler, like talking about toy shopping. But if you go a bit further out and get a bit more rural with it, there's a chain of stores called Hobby Off, and they are like, you can find some gold in them, but they're normally like out in the sticks. You have to get on some like weird line that's not on the JR line, and you have to go around, find it. But they are where you sometimes like find like mad stuff. Like, I got this Medicom Real Action Heroes Godzilla, and it comes with the guy in the suit inside of it. So it's like he's wearing the Godzilla. Yeah. So I've just got him chilling out the back. And I think I paid like 30 quid for it, but they go for like 200 online.
Amazing.
Yeah. So it's worth just like going out into the sticks, because like sometimes like in Akihabara and stuff, it can be a bit like it's 500 people trying to find one thing, whereas if you go a bit further out, I don't know, I love it. I love the hunt. I love like going to like the middle of fucking nowhere and trying to find some weird stuff.
How did you find it? Was it like, were you there on tour, or was it just literally you heard of this place and you just went out your way to find it?
I've been to Japan now a lot. It's like my favorite thing to do. Anytime like I ever get like save a bit of money, it's like, right, cool, go on a flight, and then we'll go and like we'll go literally toy shopping basically.
Hell yeah.
But it's just through I bought years ago. Do you know that company Super 7? They make toys. They do like reissues of like Power Rangers toys and like He-Man figures and stuff.
Yeah.
They do they wrote a book called Tokyo Underground years and years ago, and it was basically like a book about this thick, and it listed all the toy shops in Tokyo, like in all the wards and all the districts. Yeah, and I bought that. I must have bought that like 10 years ago, maybe even longer, probably longer actually, about maybe 12, 13 years ago. And I just always had it, and I hadn't been to Japan at that point. And then the first time I went, I just took the book with me. I just went and had a look at a couple of the places, and then ever since then, it's kind of like, right, well, when I go now, have to go to Mandarake, have to go to Hobby Off, and then you have to just go into like all these weird places. But every time you go, there's new shops opening, and like like for instance, like Mandarake. Last time I was there, I don't know if you went to Ikebukuro, which is like where the Pokemon Center Mega Tokyo is.
Oh yeah, my girlfriend is a massive Pokemon fan. I am as well, but she's huge, and we went all the Pokemon centers we could. Yeah,
it's the one in Sunshine City. It's the one that's like in the shopping center. Yeah. But in that district there, they have a. Is your camera gone funny, Ombler?
You're trapped in a parallel universe, man.
Yeah, what's happened? It's all right, we'll carry on.
No, you're frozen.
I'm still here.
There we go. He's back.
Yeah, you're back now. There, yeah. But that in that Ikebukuro place, there's like a department store, and it's fucking ginormous, and the basement's always been empty, and they just opened a Mandarake there, on the basement level, but it's just the entire floor, and it's huge. If you think of like a huge like department store in the UK, it's literally just that, but with just like pristine secondhand toys. It's crazy.
Man. Yeah, you're gonna need some.
It's dark.
Some more shelf space. Before we jump into Nintendo and the Souls games, because I know, Dan, you've got a lot to say about them, because I think this was during lockdown was the first time you got into the Souls games. Is that right?
Yeah.
Before that, I just want to ask, what have you guys with Palm Reader got planned now? Given like we're kind of getting out of the pandemic, like have you guys managed to get stuff together? Like,
yeah, we released an album in November of last year, and we were kind of like deliberating, should we hold it off for a bit, see how it goes? But then it was just a point where like we should probably just release it, because who knows how long this is going to go on for. So we did a live stream in a church in not Rotherham. Where was it? I don't know, some middle of nowhere place. And so we did that, and to celebrate the release of the album. And then ever since then, we've just sort of like been planning the big headline shows at the end of the year. Like we're playing the Garage in London and Rescue Rooms in Nottingham, which, I mean, they're the biggest headline shows that we've ever done. And like sales are going all right. We've still got a few more tickets to sell if anyone wants to buy one. But yeah, we're just sort of gearing up towards those. We've got a few more shows to sort of ease ourselves back into gig life. But those are the two that I'm like super fucking champing at the bit to play, because it'd just be nice to play proper venues for a band that's been slugging away in pubs for 10 fucking years.
I just can't imagine having, like, for Berthia, just to be out of it for, like, do you know what I mean? Like, to be out of any job for like such a fucking long amount of time whilst all this shit is happening, like, must be fucking horrible. But to be taken away from your natural environment on a fucking stage, do you know what I mean? Like, West, you were saying, like, going back to downloading stuff, just like getting back onto a stage for the first time, like the whole idea of that is so surreal, because it's been such a
absolute whitey. All of us were just having an absolute the other week fucking bricking it.
Yeah,
like, and it was Seb's first gig again. He was fucking chucking up the morning of as well. Like I came down, met him in the lobby. He was like, "Oh yeah, I just spewed everywhere in the bathroom." I was like, "Fucking good."
That's a big show for your first one.
Fucking hell, yeah. Trial by fire. He killed it though. But yeah, it's. I mean, I'm sure you feel the same. It's just I'm kind of a bit sick of just sitting around now. Like I just want to fucking get back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little tease, and now it's just like, oh, cool, sickest day in a year and a half, and then back to boring old same shit every day, the same day after.
Have you got much planned for because I think everything's lifting fairly soon. Have you got much, or is it all next year for you guys?
We're doing Ren and Leeds.
Is that still happening?
Well, apparently, apparently so.
Who knows?
Fingers crossed. Probably fucking not. But we're, as far as we know, yeah. And then we are re-announcing our US dates on what day is it today? We are re-announcing our US dates next week. So
big scoop.
I mean, I say next week. It's not a big scoop because this won't be out until after it's on.
If they jump in the PR gun, you'll have your fucking PR on your back. What are you doing, John?
Oh, they won't be. They won't, because this will be out after it anyway. So they'll be like, next week,
true.
You just announced it the other day, you daft bastard, is what they're But yeah, we got that. Like, we're re-announcing UK, US, and Europe next week. So fucking surprise. Yeah, well, we'll yeah, but I mean, America don't give a fuck, do they? They're
ready to go. Yeah,
fucking full stadiums. Who gives a shit?
Right. Before we dissect the latest Nintendo news, Dan, something I want to do is just kind of like, we bonded when we toured together, like just over like a fucking mutual love of video games and stuff like that. I'd love to hear more about how you actually got into video games, like what kind of consoles you grew up with, like what kind of games you're playing now, and also, I guess, leading into the Souls thing, what kind of stuff you've been playing through lockdown.
Yeah, my first ever games console, I think I had a family holiday in France, and I think, how old would I have been? Probably about 6, maybe. And my mum and dad bought me and my sister a Game Boy Color, and we got to choose one game each. She chose Link's Awakening, which for an 8-year-old is pretty heavy, and I chose Pokemon Blue. Yeah, and I was like,
good effort.
Ever since then, like, I hadn't heard of Pokemon at all. It's just because like this. Then it was just, this is a cool turtle. Yeah. I like that. And yeah, ever since then, like, I think Link's Awakening was probably a little bit too heavy for a 6 and 8-year-old. So we had no idea where we were going. We were just walking around the village, said like, oh, there's a chain chomp. I know what that is. And just following around that. And then we eventually just got hooked on Pokemon, and it was that and Fire Red. And not Fire Red, Red. And we just played those to death. And then from Game Boy Color, it was Nintendo 64 and the and the Mega Drive. Just got that from a car boot sale with Sonic 2, one of the best games. And then it just sort of, the progression, the release progression happened. It was like PS1, PS2, fucking GameCube, Wii, all of that. The only one I didn't really have was an Xbox because, I don't know, it just didn't look fun to me at the time.
You didn't miss much personally. I think I'll say that. Jet Set. All right, Jet, I can see West looking. Jet Set.
This is coming from the guy that absolutely loves Halo. Oh, you didn't miss Xbox. You fucking singing praises.
So the Xbox.
All right, fair.
I think.
No, yeah, 360.
Everybody. I think when you're a kid, it's like you've got one console. So for me, I was always like the Nintendo kid. So like I had Nintendo consoles, but all of my mates had PlayStations. And when you're a kid, you get in that childish, like, what have you got a Nintendo console for? That's for babies. Do you play baby games? I'm like, actually, no, fucking.
I think Mario that's 6. Still the mindset.
It definitely is. But you know what I mean? Back then, it's even worse because the idea of being called a baby or a kid when you're a kid is like really demoralizing. Do you know what I mean? Don't call me a kid. I'm not a kid. I'm a big man. Like Smash Bros. It's fighting. It's really good. But I still had.
It's not fucking Tekken though, is it? You're nonce.
That was it, kind of thing. So it's going from like. So I had all the Nintendo games, and then my mates had like PlayStation games, and when the Xbox came out, that I had a mate who had an Xbox. That was when I discovered Halo and was like, all right, fair fucking play. Like I've been banging the GoldenEye and Perfect Dark drum for the last like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, fair point. Halo Combat Evolved. This is fucking sick. So I think that's the cool thing, like when you're younger kind of things. It's like, if you look at what you've got access to now as adults, when you've got like money of your own to spend, you almost kind of lose that like joy of not being able to afford certain. Do you know what I mean? Like that joy of discovering a game when you're a kid, like.
Yeah.
You cherish the games a lot more as well, because like being a kid, you're at the mercy of your parents' money, and if they only buy, like they've got real stuff to spend money on, but like they're only they're only buying you like one game like maybe every 6 months, so you're going to play that to death. But now it's just like, I've been paid, I'll just that game's on sale, I'll buy that. Oh, that's crap, I'll buy that. It's just like you're not cherishing them as much as you would as a kid.
I think the backlog's like a big thing as well now. The amount of times I bought games and played them for 5 minutes and go, I'll get back to that, and then I'll look back through like the backlog of games that like I want to try and get through. It's like, I'm never going to fucking touch that ever again in my life.
I think that's
I did it recently.
What with?
I bought Tales of Berseria, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Kill the Kill, IF. Played all of them for 10 minutes, spent like 30 odd quid, and it was like, yep, never going to play them again. That was an absolute waste of time.
Even just with PlayStation Plus now and Game Pass, it's like I'm planning.
That's dangerous.
That's what I mean. I'm planning on getting Series S or X. I've not decided which one yet, but I'm going to grab one in September just for the new Halo, because I think that looks class. But then it's like, right, I'm going to get Game Pass Ultimate, and then I'm going to have all of these other games to play.
But you're not going to play. But you're not going to play.
Yeah.
I love game subscription passes. Like, I think what Xbox is doing with Game Pass is class. I think PlayStation Plus is great for the. I mean, you've got PlayStation now, but I think that's still a lot of work that needs doing to that, in my opinion. But I think as great as this like unparalleled access to games is, I think going back to what we were saying earlier, it kind of makes you underappreciate games when you've just got all of these amazing fucking first party titles or whatever at your fingertips for free, which would normally cost like 50 or 60 quid, whatever, but you've got so many to play. It just kind of, I do that thing all the time where like I'll add a game to a library from PlayStation Plus with the intention of playing it and just never go back to it. Like, there's too much stuff to play.
Yeah.
It's similar to like Netflix, isn't it? You know, on how years ago you'd wait week to week to see a TV show, you'd have to get the box set and you'd pace yourself through it. Now it's just like, it's just overload, isn't it? Like you get to the point where you end up staring at a wall of like small icons going, I can't decide what to play, so in fact I'm actually not going to play anything.
Yeah.
That happens to me all the time.
I kind of like the Disney Plus model of that, where it's literally just you get an episode a week. Like, enjoy it like you would a normal TV show. But with Netflix, it's like, I've watched all of them in an afternoon. What's happened?
Did anyone watch Loki?
Oh, I've not.
Yes,
Have you both watched the latest episode?
Yeah, I watched it this morning.
Right. No fucking talking about. Okay, was it good?
Yes.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. General consensus though is the program is ace.
Oh yeah. Everything I've seen so far is fucking incredible. And okay, how good is it? Very good.
Just watch it.
Yeah.
Just watch it.
Don't want to either A, hype it up for you and you don't enjoy it, or B, like don't want to potentially spoil anything. So it's all right. You can watch it this evening.
Well, things that don't need any hyping up, I think it would be reasonable to talk about the Switch Switch OLED.
This funny fucker. You fucking wish.
I just say that was a fantastic segue. Well done.
Almost like I did it on purpose.
Years in the game.
You did. What great script writing.
As massive Nintendo fans, what was everyone's reaction when they saw that, or more specifically when you actually saw the specs and like read into it? Because I think when we all saw it at first, it was kind of, oh shit, this is the Switch Pro, this is it, and then you read into it and it's like, no, this is just a normal Switch OLED screen.
General consensus: what a waste of fucking time! Like, OLED screen, whatever, cool. I mean, that'll look nice and crisp. Yeah, but it's not going to do anything when you plug it in and it's different. You've got an Ethernet port on your fucking Switch dock, which I can guarantee no one's asked for. Nobody is doing hardwired networking through the fucking Switch while they're playing anything, are they?
It's an Ethernet port for a portable console.
I know. So fucking dumb.
What's the point?
Yeah.
And like,
take a 50-meter lead with you.
Nintendo Switch Online is the worst of the three. It's awful. Like, you don't even have voice chat on your console. So what's the point in having like good internet with it? Because you've got to download a fucking app on your phone to talk to someone who, like, when you're playing Splatoon.
Like it's
ridiculous.
They won't.
They will do in 5 years, and then it'll be celebrated as like a Nintendo like getting with the times kind of thing, which is what we always do. Because, and again, prefacing this,
we'll be saying well done. We'll be cheering them on when it happens. Like, I can't believe they've done it. It's so cool.
I love Nintendo so much, but I think it's right to criticize them when just some, like, the multiplayer, like you were saying, sorry, the online chat, Dan, like, that is to have to download something onto your phone, which one assumes that you've got a smartphone or whatever else, which most people might do, but you can't just restrict something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like going back to like the whole complaints with Xbox One back in the day, the always online thing. It's the equivalent to that, because you're in 2021 or whatever, but not everyone has an internet connection, or if you are playing online, not everyone has a smartphone. Like, some people choose not to have smartphones. But just the absolute mind boggle of having to get something on your phone and then connect it and then have a friend, like, it's because you've got a company here who is so protective of kind of like their audience and consumers, and we know that kind of thing. Like, Nintendo always wants to be seen as like the kid-friendly company, like it's a safe platform to play on. We know there's a lot of dickheads and trash talkers online, but it's kind of like like or later you need to get with the times and just make things like this normal, because it's fucking, how else
But they don't, because they haven't, and we're all still buying it, we're all still playing it. They don't give a shit. They're not changing it because there's no fucking point.
Because everyone's going to go out in their droves and buy it like the good little piggies that they are.
I'm going to buy one. I'm going to fucking get one. Of course I'm going to end up fucking buying it.
I did see the price for the OLED and think, it's not as expensive as I thought it was.
That's how they get you. That's how they get you.
Yeah, they'll do some special edition one for a game that's going to come out in a year or two, and I'll go, fuck it, I'll grab one of them. Why not?
Well,
included with the day one stick drift as well.
That's another tactical thing that kind of plays in their favour, because you've got people like me who I only realised I had fucking Joy-Con drift after Wes told me, because I was kind of like, sometimes my Joy-Cons like get weird when I'm
they're all fucked.
He was like, that's Joy-Con drift, and I was like, I just thought it was a bad connection. West was like, no, your controllers are fucked.
Nope.
But
yeah, absolutely.
But that's the reason for me to go. I'll buy an OLED then. Like,
no, you won't. You spend 60 quid and get some new Joy-Cons, unless because they, that this is the third version of the Switch.
Yeah, because
and I'm not talking about the light.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the light. I'm talking about, because they did like a silent upgrade, didn't they? Where they changed the internals of it. No, they changed the battery life, but the real reason they changed it is they changed the processor in it, because on the very first generation Switch, there was a hardware fault that meant they couldn't patch out like a bootloader on it, so you could homebrew it and hack it. And there was no way to patch it out. So that's why they did the upgrade with the better battery life, when in fact they just changed the processor as well, so they could get around the piracy.
Clever.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
You know what we need to do? We'll do a follow-up episode to this. We'll get Miyamoto on. We'll get him, or Doug Bowser. We'll get him to set the record straight.
Listen here, Doug.
There's 100 listeners.
What are you saying, mate?
They want to fucking know.
They want to know what's going on with this. Where's this pro bastard 4K one? What are you saying?
It's coming then. When do we think it's coming? Because I'm sure we've all seen the leaks.
What, 4K one?
Yeah.
I'm not sure it will, because the thing for me is like the 4K one, like it still has to operate as a handheld console. That's the whole point of the console. It's the switch between the TV and the handheld. There's no way in burning hell you can get something in your hand unless it is this wide like that and about that fucking thick that's going to run like 4K, like stable. And when it is docked, it'll run 4K stable. You think the PS5 and the Xbox One Series X, they've only just got around to getting 4K at 60 FPS, like stably. And then even in some games, like it still shits the bed. Like, there's no way they can make a handheld run 4K 60 FPS. Not a chance. So I don't think it will happen. Not for a good few years.
What have you done?
I think there's a couple more versions in it because, like, how many different versions of the 3DS did they make? But listening to your point, Wes, that sounds completely valid. Like, the technology isn't there yet.
No, I think the next console that they do, if it's a Switch 2 or whatever name they give it, that's what they'll be targeting. But I don't think like mid-generation, because most developers aren't even going to go in and do upgrades for it, and nothing at hardware level will get games up to 4K 60 FPS. So no way in burning out.
What if the whole thing is, right, we go docked 4K, but if you want to play these games portable, you're going to need a Wi-Fi connection, you're going to have to stream. I wonder if that's something they've been looking at, and I get that's going to be met with backlash, obviously. But given how well because Xbox has just launched what's it called now? Is it just Project Cloud
xCloud
Gaming? Yeah.
Yeah. Have you tried that?
No, not yet. No.
It's not bad. I mean, it's they're all the same though, aren't they? Like, you can't play like a competitive shooter on them just because, again, the technology's not there, the speeds aren't there. You need absolutely ripping Wi-Fi, and even then, it needs to be like you need to be on gigabit internet for it to like work properly.
The streaming service.
Yeah, it's similar to how they did Stadia. You put the box or the stick into the TV, and then the controller they stream all the games to it.
Yeah,
but I mean, I tried it briefly on my phone, and I tried it just downstairs in the house. I've not tried it out or anything. It's fine. It's like it doesn't beat a console. It kind of like bridges a gap. Like if you're traveling, it's good. Like you can get like a little grip that you can put your phone on top of like an Xbox pad, and like you can play games and stuff, and that's kind of cool. But like, it doesn't replace a real console. I'd rather just carry the console with me like a Switch rather than carrying a fucking controller with a fucking grip, and then I need a fucking 8G dongle to get the internet speeds that work properly for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just too much of a faff. Again, it's similar to I think the Switch Pro, where I don't think the technology's there yet. Like, it's a good proof of concept. Like, it works fine, but 5 years time, it's going to be ready to go, I think.
Yeah. Well, if it is a new console completely, hopefully they don't do the same thing with like Wii and Wii U. They actually call it something different, not like Switch or something rubbish.
Nintendo Switch Watch.
I Switch. They suit to fuck for that, wouldn't they?
Or they just pull back the U again. They bring the Switch U and then they bring the Wii U back from the dead. Fucking hell.
Right.
It was a bad business decision. You just weren't ready for it.
Mate, I was. I had fucking 2 of them in its life cycle.
What were you?
I've still got mine.
Were you?
Yeah, I had 2. Yeah.
Still at game when the Wii U came out? Was I at game when the Wii U came out?
Yeah, I got you the job as the temp at Christmas when it came out.
Was that when the Wii U came out?
Yeah, and they had 5 games and we didn't sell any.
Because I was going to say, thinking back now, and I think I had these conversations with customers, trying to communicate what the fuck that was to people was not easy.
No one had a clue. No one knew it was a new console. People just thought it was a pad that you bought for the Wii. Yeah, and it fucking was not. That's all.
Absolutely was not.
It's like with PlayStation, it's absolute. It's 2, 3, 4. Very self-explanatory. But for that, it just didn't make a fucking lick of sense.
No. Did you still have yours then? Did you say?
Yeah. Hang on, it's right. Right here.
Oh, in the box.
Really ready to put on eBay next time 80% buy.
Ready to go. Oh,
yeah. I don't know, something.
What did you play on it? Like, what did you buy for it when it was out?
So I had fucking like 4 games. I got Mario Kart 8, Wind Waker, Smash Bros 4, and something else. I can't remember. I didn't play it much, mainly because when I bought it, the disc drive doesn't work and it doesn't turn on properly. And when I tried to return it to game,
the box you got from
no. This is like from like day one release. I got it from game, and they just wouldn't take it back.
Seems should have come and seen me and Ombler. We'd have sorted you out.
Right out.
Full refund and a replacement.
Voucher too for your troubles. Right.
Oh, cheers, boys.
On from Nintendo then. Dan, lockdown.
Yes.
You've now experienced the joy and pain of the Souls series. Just start by telling us like about your journey, like how because obviously the game's been around for a while. Like, what convinced you to finally pick them up, and what game did you start with and why?
Okay, so this starts from I bought the Xbox One and I had it for about a year, and it was just there was nothing on it exclusive wise. At this point, I hadn't heard of any Souls games or anything like that. So I had that, and I was like, this is making me fall out of love with gaming. Like, there's nothing. The only thing I was looking forward to was Cuphead, and that came out like 2 years later, so I wasn't waiting around for that. So I traded it in for a PS4, and one of the first games I got, the first game I got was Bloodborne, because I had nothing of it, and I just saw the trailers, and I was like, this looks pretty cool. Popped it in, fucking got about 5 minutes into the game, died about 600 times, and I was like, this isn't for me. This is too hard. And then when I started work at the job I'm at now, there's loads of people there that love From Software games. Like, I was hearing about Dark Souls, Bloodborne. Oh, you've got to give it another go. You've got to do it. So I picked it back up, and I was like they told me you have to be aggressive with it. With Bloodborne, especially, like, you have to be aggressive. You just got to jump in. Don't give the enemies any time to breathe. Just go. And from there, I was like, oh, no, this makes sense. This makes a lot of sense. And I think I got to Father Gascoigne and I was like, oh shit, this is hard. Never mind. So I put that down again. And then I tried the Dark Souls games. I downloaded 2, wasn't any good at that. Then I downloaded 3 because it was on sale, like the whole edition with both DLCs. This was in like right at the start of lockdown. And I was playing it like, I don't know about this. I don't know. This is just going to be as hard as the other ones. So there's no point. But then I got to the first boss with like Gundyr, I think his name is, and I beat him. And I was like, oh, I get it. I get it.
It feels powerful.
Yeah, and I didn't put it down. Like, all through lockdown, it was like, right, it's the morning, right, clock into Dark Souls 3, let's go, and just played it constantly. And like I'd reach walls, and I was like, okay, well, I get into the summoning side of things to get the people who know what they're doing to help me fight these things, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. And then I'm still on the hunt to platinum that game because I want to plat. Yeah, there's a lot of fucking farming. I spent about 4 or 5 hours just farming ears on the Anor Londo steps with those silver knights. Just 5 hours. Why am I doing this? For the platinum. That's why, for the platinum. And then after I'd finished the DLC and the story and everything, it's like, all right, I give Bloodborne a go. And luckily, everyone who I work with was like, I'm up for playing Bloodborne. And the online multiplayer for that is way more self-explanatory than Souls is. You don't have to have anything. You've just got you got to have insight, but that's really easy to come by. So, and we all just went through each other's games, just doing all the bosses. Like I'd do booking Father Gascoigne with a bunch of friends, and then we'd go over to their game, we'd do that, and we just like repeat it for like hours on end. And I think we all got to the stage where we were platinuming it, like did all the chalice dungeons and everything. And I was again, like when I get stuck into a Dark Souls game, I'm fucking in it. There is nothing else I want to play. And then I found Sekiro, and that is like I say, like, I want to talk to you about the Dark Souls game, but it's Sekiro that is by far my most favorite. It is.
I would agree.
I've still got to beat fucking Ishin, last guy.
Same.
Have you done it?
No, it pissed me off that much. I sold the game.
You sold it? Oh man,
it fucking annoyed me that much. I just sold the game. I got rid of it. Like, I was like, I can't do this. I've had enough.
It's too hard.
In the tower, or is it Ishin at the very end?
Oh no, very end.
I did the same. I sold the game. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I was like, I'm not putting myself through this anymore. It got to a point where I was like, it's bad dirt, when like your girlfriend's turning round, like, what's wrong with you? And like doing that, you're sulking, you're smashing your fists, you're screaming, and you've got your girlfriend kind of like, you're a fucking 29-year-old man. What the fuck are you doing? Like, and that was.
I can't beat my computer game.
Ishin's really strong. The game, I fucking hit him. I hit him, but he didn't fucking die, and I dodged, but the button didn't work. It's fucking bullshit. It was.
He's got a spear. He's got a gun. He's got lightning.
And then I think he's dead, and then he transforms into something else. It was
4 phases as well. It's just a fucking blag. It's so much of a pain in the ass.
Right. I can either carry on doing this junky thing, like you, Dan, for your fucking platinum fix, where I'm like, right, the sense of accomplishment I get from completing this game is just going to be full, like, fucking 1,000 spunks at once or whatever else. Like, I'm gonna feel incredible. But is that worth, like, just me losing my shit every single night?
Yes.
Like, knowing that
100%.
I just saw I couldn't do it. I saw my ass, put it on eBay. I think I got my money back for it. I was like, right, fuck you. Right. I've got my money back for this game. Fuck you. Like, you're not making money off this resale. Fuck you, FromSoft.
But for me, though, like, even though that I got to that point and I was like, I fucking hate this game. I hate it. I didn't hate it. It's my favorite.
My favorite. You hate it, but you respect
Sekiro, then Bloodborne. Yeah, like, it's my favorite FromSoft game by miles. Like, it's so good.
Why do you think that is then? 'Cause I'd agree. Do you think it's the pacing? Because it kind of, like, Dan, like what you were saying earlier, like with Bloodborne, it's more of a you rush kind of thing, whereas Dark Souls is kind of like you take your time, you clock all of the fucking potential movements, you study the enemies, learn the patterns, whereas, like, for me with, like, fucking Sekiro, I was just like, you just rush in, like you know when to go, and you just fucking rush. Like, and I think that's why it was so fun, because it's a lot easier to clear through, especially when you die, because I think that's the worst thing about any Souls game is you'll slug through a section, like Anor Londo is like a fucking prime example. You'll slug through that, you'll die, and then it's like another slug trying to get back to where you were.
Ombler, just roll back about Anor Londo. You just froze them, mate. So just go back to when you were just talking about Anor Londo.
So you'll slug through. Right, so Dark Souls, it's a case of you'll slug through, you'll die, and then it's another slug to get back to where you were, kind of thing. Whereas like Bloodborne and Sekiro, I think you can storm through a section, die, and then you can quite easily get back to where you were, kind of thing. I think especially with the grapple and stuff as well. Like,
I think the runbacks in Sekiro aren't nearly as annoying as they are in Souls, and plus there's no stamina, so like you can just, as you said, like rush, grapple, all that sort of stuff. I wouldn't suggest Sekiro as the first FromSoft game anyone plays. You've got to have some idea of like some mechanics, but I saw Sekiro as like a rhythm game, in a sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you gotta parry at the right time. You've got to learn every boss and all the enemies different patterns, and then you've got to learn the rhythm of which they attack, which for some is a lot easier than others. There are some that are just fucking like Ishin, like still haven't done it.
You're going to do it though, and me and Number will be like, oh yeah, fucker. I can't believe you sat through it and did it. Oh,
Do it.
fucking-
Do it. I've still got a platinum that as well. I haven't even finished my first run through, and I've made plans to platinum it. I've got to stream it at some point. Like fucking, it just gets me so annoyed, but it's great.
Oh yeah.
How much PvP did you both do, if any?
On Souls,
0.
absolutely 0. Like
None. Yeah, I'm good. Fucking. I was talking to you about this the other day. I'm sure it was, or it was someone else. I can't remember who it was, but I was just saying, like, there's nothing worse than going through a game. We were talking about Demon Souls. I think it was. We were saying that, like, I went through the entire game and didn't have one invader that wasn't, like, scripted. That wasn't like one of the like the Black Phantoms. Yeah, didn't get anyone. No one invaded me. Finished the entire game.
That's really weird.
All right.
Really weird, which was great for me because I was like, "This is how I like to play it." Like, it just wakes me out so much. Like, it's just so stressful. Like, I'm just about to go through the fog door, and then fucking someone's invaded. It's like, fuck off! It's so annoying.
Dan, have you played Demon Souls?
No, a friend of mine gave me one of the Curry's PS5 codes, so that is yet to arrive. I think it's like coming in like 3 weeks or so, and that is one of the games that I'm obviously rushing to get. Yeah,
it's fucking sick. It looks so good.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
There's a boss in that where basically, if another player summons in a certain area, I've forgotten the name of the dungeon.
Old Monk.
Is it Old Monk?
Yes, Tower of Andrea.
So So the reason I asked about PvP is because I still play video games as if I am 15 because I just love working with people. Basically, like I'm the worst kind of person you can play with online. So as soon as I found out about this, I was like, haha, there's gonna be loads of first time Demon Souls players playing this game. I can just fucking spawn in with my pure fucking intelligence build and just fucking boom. So,
well, if you want to be an absolute dickhead on Demon Souls, my username's CoolTeen69, so please leave me be. Please just let me get on with it.
I'll through it instead, but the PvP seriously, it'll be cool to see what they do with Elden Ring because my fondest moments we'll go on to Elden Ring, but my fondest moments of the Souls series is playing them with Nath and Jav, who are in the band I was in, and we just used to there was an item you could get in Dark Souls 3 that I think increased the chances of being invaded, so we used to put that on. There was an area, I've forgotten the fucking name of the map, but there's loads of crabs there and stuff. So we'd get there.
Oh, the Farron Keep.
Yeah, that's it, Farron Keep. Yeah. I was a pure intelligence build, and I think this is before they nerfed anything. There's a spell in Dark Souls 3, which is basically a fucking Kamehameha from like Dragon Ball, and it's just like a beam, it's just a beam of pure energy, and if you use the binoculars, you can aim it. So I used to put on I've forgotten the name of the ring, but that turns you kind of like invisible from a certain distance. So Nath and Jav or whoever else would used to get players in combat, start smashing them. I'd have the knockers out, just fucking looking and go, right, done, iron sight, dead. And it was so satisfying. Like, just used to do that over and over again, just seeing like how many kills we could chain up. I think me and Nath got to like
sweaty play
once, and it was just fucking hell.
Oh my god.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
If I'd have met you, I would have put the game down instantly. We wouldn't have done this chat.
That'd be going to fucking CEX as well.
And I think this is why it was so fucking annoying as well, because there's this weird sense of honour in PvP with Souls games where you do the whole bowing?
Clearly fucking not with you.
Yeah,
You're not with me.
cheating.
So there'd be Nathan, whoever else is invading, doing like the customary bow or like whatever the emoji was, and me in the background just like, right, when am I gonna fucking I just bowed, right, fuck it, it's vulnerable.
Yeah, you hiding behind some fucking pots about to blast them.
You're awful.
Wizard, I was horrible. I wouldn't change it for the world though, it's fucking hilarious.
That's the whole point of it. You gotta be a knobhead sometimes online.
Pure unadulterated entertainment. What do you think they're gonna do with Elden Ring then? Like, are we gonna see no one?
They could spit in a fucking box and I'd buy it. Just that trailer's enough.
Yeah, that trailer looks so good.
Thank you, Mr. Miyazaki.
Yeah, took you long enough, but thanks.
There was tears in my eyes when that trailer came.
Mate, we were talking about this when we were talking about E3. Like, it's hilarious that the best thing that happened on E3 wasn't on an official E3 conference, just the day before it starts, just like, yeah, fuck it, I'll just drop the only game that people are asked about this year for a laugh, see what people do. But I can't wait for it. I mean, I want to see a bit. I wouldn't mind seeing a 5-minute gameplay video just to see what the flow is going to be like.
Yeah.
Just because I'm not sure. It looks like there's open areas, but I'm not sure whether it is just still segmented with like wider open areas, but just like, you know, still broken off, not like a true open world. But we'll see. I
think they've said that like it's open in the sense you can go most places, but it's sort of cordoned off by how strong things are.
Oh, okay.
I think that was it anyway. So like you can go to a hard bit, but you're just going to get dicked on. So it sort of makes sense to follow the flow that they want you to flow.
I like that though, because that's kind of how Dark Souls 1 was, because you've got whatever the skeleton area is at the beginning. And I found out the hard way. Exactly, I think we all did. Like, I've been getting really into like just watching speedruns there, and I love when games are designed in that way, because I think it just opens up so many different playing styles. Like, I don't know if you've seen many of the Breath of the Wild speedruns or people just rushing to Ganon's.
Oh yeah,
it's just hilarious.
Yeah,
because Hyrule Castle, to be fair, in Breath of the Wild, like, even when you've got plenty of hearts, like, it's fucking solid.
I still haven't done it.
Have you not?
Fair.
I've done all 4 Guardian. It's one of those games where I'm like, I don't want to stop playing it. Like, if I beat Ganon, then I'll stop playing it. Yeah. But I've stopped playing it, so I may as well finish it.
I'll be honest with you. Like, with that game, loved all of it. The worst part of it's the ending. I'm not spoiling anything, like, but it's just like, it doesn't. I don't know. I just don't think it matches up to the standard of the rest of the game.
In terms of the actual, like, the literal ending, in terms of like post-fight kind of thing, because I think that fight was badass.
No, it's cool. It's a spectacle, but it doesn't feel like a final boss. I don't think. I think it's just like, I don't know. Like, it just felt a bit like, oh, right, well, that's done. Do you know what I mean? It didn't feel like...
anything feels like a final boss when you've got the fucking game's main melody playing. Do you know what I mean? That I fucking buzz off that so much. You must love that as well, as a fucking JRPG boy, when they play the main melody or like menu melody, do you know what I mean, of a game theme, and then you don't hear it through the entire game, but they bring it back at the end, and it's like,
oh,
shit,
mate.
It's not real.
Yeah.
It gives me goosebumps. Like,
mate, They did it in the new Monster Hunter in Monster Hunter Rise. Like, they didn't play it. There's a song called Proof of a Hero, which is like the Monster Hunter theme. It's not in the entire game. I was like, oh, I'm just loving this. This is sick. Then you fight one of the end game like monsters, and then you just like, there's just this weird like song playing, and then it just starts building. And you're like, I recognize that note. What's going on here? And then it just like kicked in. And I was like, oh, this is literally the best thing ever. This is so good. So yeah, I completely agree with you.
I think I found that with Simple and Clean in Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, fucking let's
don't
go.
mention Kingdom Hearts West. You'll never fucking.
Let's go. Let's go.
I've got like a.
You've set him off now. He's going to come back. He's going to come back and cosplay.
Oh my god, he's got 2. He's got 2.
Where the fuck did you get them from?
Game. They sold them like a couple of years ago, like replica ones before 3 came out.
How much are they worth now?
Amazing. Yeah. I need a Keyblade.
Fuck all. They're made of foam. They're crap.
I was made of foam.
Yeah, they were awful. But me and my girlfriend were in the Trafford Centre one day, and we walked past the game. I was like, "Oh, I'll just go and have a look in." I saw him there. I was like, "I'm gonna have to walk around the whole Trafford Centre with these." I'm sorry.
Gotta start running like Sora.
Oh, she hated it.
I've got to say thank you to you, Wes. Even though this is the first time we've met, you during lockdown you did a Final Fantasy stream from start to finish. I then stole that idea and did that with Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. Doesn't it suck doing it? It fucking
sucks. I've never cried as much as I did during that game. Like, I think there was a stage at like probably like 8, 9 in the morning. I started at 11 the previous day, and I was just at the Fantasia Devil, and I didn't know like you could summon your mates like Tinkerbell and like Simba and all that. I didn't know that was a thing. So I was trying to do it and didn't understand what was going on with the game. So I think it probably took like 2 hours. And before I did it, I had to go upstairs in my old house and just cry on the stairs. I was in my girlfriend's lap and she's like, you can do this. I just don't know if I can. I don't know if I can.
Did you do the first one? Is that the one that you did?
Yeah, the first one, yeah. I got all the way to the final boss and realised that I'm not strong enough, so I had to go back and collect all the Dalmatians and fucking do it again, which took another 10 hours. It literally
happened with Final Fantasy VII. It got to did the whole thing, ran through it all, and I was like, got to the final boss, couldn't beat it. I was like, I'll just drop the difficulty, and then you can't drop the difficulty at that point in the game, so I had to go back 6 hours to drop it down to easy to then finish it. It fucking sucked. I mean, it was good doing the like raising money for the crew and stuff. But fuck me, Dad, I would not do it again. 36 hours it took. It was minging.
Did you sleep for 36 hours?
Yeah.
No, I literally sat in this room for 36 hours, and you should have fucking smelt me when we finished, because it was the middle of summer, honking.
What kind of like Dan? How long did it take you for Kingdom Hearts?
I want to say like 32.
Okay, so what does that? I'm fascinated. Like, what does that actually do to your body and like brain? Like, how do you feel? So I think I've tried staying up. Like, I've been on a fucking bender or whatever before and stayed up for like 24. And even after 24 hours, do you know what I mean? You start feeling like weird. But 36 hours, 30 hours. Like, what's that like?
You'd sort of transcend tiredness. Like, you're exhausted, but you wouldn't be able to sleep.
No.
It's like...
I think it's because you're so focused on doing something. I don't know how you feel with video games. It's one of the only things that Ben mentioned this last week, but it's one of the only things that I can do, and I know that other people can do, where they can just stay up for an infinite amount of time and not really think about it. It's because your brain's so stimulated as you're doing stuff, you're focusing on something. And I can only speak for myself, but like, it didn't really feel like, I didn't feel tired by the end of it. I was just glad that it was done. I remember standing up and then getting a bit wobbly, and then my girlfriend said, you need to go and have a shower, because I didn't smell very good. So I went for a shower, and then I just went to bed, and then I just got up the next day. But for me, I didn't really feel the day after. I just slept through as normal, got up normally, and that was it. It was just business as usual, really.
Yeah. You sort of like, when you put it down and the credits roll, you just felt like, well, this is, what do I do now?
Yeah.
It's too early to go to bed properly. Then you'll just fuck yourself for like the following day. So you've got to stay up until a reasonable amount of time to go to bed.
Yeah. I think I finished it started at 11 and then finished it 11 a.m. and then finished it at 9 p.m. the day after. So I just showered and went to sleep. So I was kind of around a time where it was like, yeah, fuck it, I can go to bed now and it's okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it again. I might do it when the part 2 comes out. Yeah, I think I will. I know I'm going to do it.
I'm toying with the idea of doing 2 the same way.
Oh, mate. And then 3. You should do all of them. You should do 1, Chain of Memories. You should do fucking 2, fucking Birth by Sleep, Recoded.
Every single one without sleeping.
358/2 days on DS.
Oh,
all
God.
the fucking Yeah,
I've got the collection. I've got the collection on PS4. I played the card one. I don't get it.
I don't like Chain of Memories. All the spin-off ones are a bit weird. The best one is Birth by Sleep. Birth by Sleep is the best like side one, and I honestly think that the combat in that is my favorite out of all of them, because you level up your commands as you play, and then you can meld your commands together to make like better moves. So it's got like the deck system from Chain of Memories, but as you use the moves, they level up, and then you can combine the moves together to like unlock ultimate moves. And by the end of it, you have like this deck of cards deck of commands that is just absolutely batshit. It's insane. Oh, wow. It's so good though. If you've not played that one, I would definitely give that a spin.
I'm like, the first time I've ever played a Kingdom Hearts game was that stream.
Oh wow!
So like, I've never touched them before.
Have you not played 2?
When I first moved into this new place, I wanted to see how it was, so I did all the bits up until Sora. Like all the fucking sea salt ice cream and all that.
Yeah, Twilight Town.
Like 6 hours.
Yeah, it's fucking so bad. But that game, that is the creme de la creme of Kingdom Hearts number 2. That is very, very good.
Where does somebody dive into Kingdom Hearts then if they've not played a game before?
Nowadays, you don't, because it's just a fucking mess. There's like the plot. I've played all of them, and I've watched, me and Ombler spoke about this before. I played all of them, including the fucking stupid free-to-play mobile games. I haven't got a clue what's going on at this point, at all, in the slightest. So, I mean, maybe 1, but I feel you can play 1 and 2 without really playing any of the side games, and then after that, it just gets muddy. It's at the point now where these stupid mobile games are fully canon, and they are important. Oh my God. Yeah, they are like super, super, super important to the main series of the game. So there's parts where I won't spoil any parts, but like when you're playing 3, there'll be people turning up. You go, who the fuck's that? Like, what's going on here? And then at the end of it, you're like, what happened? Like, I have no idea.
I'll tell you what.
I don't know.
Dan, how into Final Fantasy are you?
Not that I don't like it. I've just never played one.
Play 7 remake. You'd love it.
Popped up recently saying that apparently, so Final Fantasy X, there is a Final Fantasy X-2, which is technically, well, it's not a mainline entry, but at the time it was kind of like still a big Final Fantasy game, but it's kind of like a spin-off. It goes into a lot of weird stuff. Like it's not a good Final Fantasy game by any means, in my opinion. Apparently, Final Fantasy, I only saw this today, apparently the synopsis for 10.3 has actually already been written, which I didn't know about. But then I saw a tweet saying apparently there's a run of Final Fantasy novels, which I never knew about. And in the latest novel, I shit you not, apparently Tidus, who is the protagonist from Final Fantasy X, he sees a bomb, thinks it's a blitzball, which is like a sports game in Final Fantasy X, boots this blitzball with his foot, it blows up, and he dies. And that's actually in the fucking novel. So there was a writer I followed today just saying, don't know what they're fucking going to do with Final Fantasy X-3 if that plays out, because according to the latest lore, Tidus fucking thought a bomb was a blitzball, booted it, and now he's dead. So you're not coming back from that.
No, not from the fucking explosion.
It's interesting because like just hearing you talk about all of the Kingdom Hearts lore, like obviously you've got the video games. I don't know what it's like with Kingdom Hearts, but with a lot of video game franchises, you've also got all of these books and comics or whatever else. Yeah. So it's kind of like, where do you, as a writer on a video game, where do you draw the line in terms of like looking at the canon and kind of going, right, we can acknowledge that, or we can, or like Resident Evil, for example. West, I know you fucking hate Resident Evil, but there's like,
don't fucking hate it. I'm just a wuss. I just won't play it.
There's 30. I just pulled that fucking number out of thin air, actually. I was completely... There's a lot of books, basically, in the Resident Evil, but there's also, like, loads of fucking Legend of Zelda manga, isn't there, and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, what...
But that follows the plot, though. It's not that deviate.
That's the story of the games.
Yeah, because Kingdom Hearts also has manga, shockingly, because why the fuck wouldn't it at this point? But that's like that the manga is actually quite good. It follows the plot of the games, but the problem is the games don't make sense anymore. So you're just reading, like it's just hard. Like, for instance, another good example, not to keep harping on about Final Fantasy, but Final Fantasy 15. They brought out 4 DLCs for it, and then they planned another 4, but then the budget got cut, and they never ended up making them. So they made a book that was basically those 4 DLCs as a book. Yeah,
that's all right. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so you could read the book that like carries on, and there's like an alternative ending and stuff to it. Which is quite nice.
Budget, because that sold very well, didn't it? Unless the DLC underperformed.
The DLCs did. I don't think the DLC did. Did you play any of them? They were all crap.
No.
Well, there we go.
Is that the one with the 4 lads in the car?
Yeah, it's the Lads on Tour one.
Lads on Tour game.
It is quite Lads on Tour-ish. Like, in terms of, like, the stuff they're talking about and the conversations they have at night and stuff, like, it was quite reminiscent of, like, when you're on tour, like when I was in the first, like, fucking year or two of being in Demoz, and, like, it gets to, like, you're at 2 a.m, like, you have, like, those deep conversations and stuff. Like, I actually got some real nice things from that game where I was kind of, actually, they've kind of nailed this idea of, like, lads on tour kind of thing, but then at night and when they're on their own, they open up and stuff. Like, I fucking loved 15. I thought 15 was sick. That fishing game, fishing in video games is sick.
It's brilliant. Fishing. I love it.
Yeah. I love fishing. Have you seen? You can get a VR headset and you can virtually fish with your mates if you've both got one.
What? Just rail fishing?
I need that.
Well, just if you have like a VR headset, like an Oculus, there's a fishing game that you can get that you can sit there, play with your mates, and you can stick YouTube videos on up in the sky and both watch YouTube together and just fish.
I want it.
Which is pretty cool. I know, but they did a VR version actually on Final Fantasy 15. There was another DLC. It's called Monsters of the Deep. It's Monsters of the Deep, and it's VR.
So you're fishing for like deep sea monsters in a VR game.
Yeah, which would terrify the living fuck out of me.
The fishing in Final Fantasy 15 is sick. I had a mate come round who like does not play video games. Came on for pre-drinks before a night out. I had Final Fantasy 15 up, and he was like, he was just calling out the fish, and he was like, "Oh, is that a tench? Is that a roach? Oh, that's a real rare fish. What's that?" And I was like, "These are real fish." And he was like, "Yeah, these are real fish. Them, and that seems like the right way." And I was like, "Right, somebody who's really into fishing has like made this their baby in the game." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mate, this loops back around to Japan again. Like, if you're into something, you don't just like it, like you're obsessed with it. So there's probably some fishing nut that works on the teams. Like, this is the ball, and I'm going to run with it here, and we are going to have lifelike fish 2 sides in game.
Speaking of fishing in Japan, did you go to that catch your own fish restaurant? Yeah, it's fucking harrowing. It's horrible. Hang on, I got a picture. There's a it was on like the last day before we flew out, so there was only like me and my girlfriend and then like 2 other people there. But basically you get in, like everything looks like the bow of a ship, and then it's got fish tanks in it with like different types of fish, and then you pay a different amount of money depending on what fish you want to catch, and then they cook it for you. And it was fucking horrible. Like my girlfriend went to one in Osaka, and she said it was brilliant because like the atmosphere was like, it was great, but when you're the only 2 people in there, and then you've got this poor Japanese waitress who's like trying to explain to me, who's already like having a bad time, what you're doing, and like trying to catch this fish. I end up doing it, and then she reels it in for me because it looked horrible. And then like as if you're a trophy hunter, and you stand there with it where they bang a drum and sing a song, and I'm close to tears. I've got to find this picture. It was one of the
up your street, Ombler.
I'd love that. Good catch.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Hang on.
So less than impressed there.
It's a big fucking fish.
Yeah, and they cooked it up, fucking went to the apartment like 3 a.m. Woke up with horrible shits. It's like, this isn't a thing you should do.
No.
Yeah, so I wouldn't. When you go to Japan again, I wouldn't suggest
Stay the hell
it.
away from
No,
that.
I'm not. Mate, no. Oh, absolutely not.
That's an interesting concept, though. Just fucking fish for your own food and then just go for it. And
mate, they love a themed restaurant in Japan. We've been to this place a couple of times called I don't know if we spoke about before, called Kagaya Bar. And it's a restaurant that's ran by one guy and his wife. His wife does all the cooking and he serves, but he puts on like a one-man show as he's serving the food, and it is it's fucking wild. You come in, you sit down, he gives you a menu, and every time you order off the menu, you have to pick a country. And when you pick a country, he does a skit in the restaurant around that country. I'm not joking. The restaurant's no bigger than this room. It's fucking tiny. So it fits like 2 tables of people, and he's a nutter. He's a madhead. Correct with the skits. Like what was it? Oh yeah, no, they were. He's not like offensive or anything. He's just a nutcase. He's just a madhead. There's like one where you pick one thing, and then he goes into this cup. Every time he goes into the cupboard, you're in trouble basically because something ridiculous is about to happen. So you pick a country, he goes into the cupboard, and then he pulls up this board, and then a hand puppet comes up, a hand puppet of a frog, and it starts like talking. And he's like, "Oh, you want to meet my friend?" And he talks back and forth. And his friend's called Dick. Way not good. And then he gets you all to start chanting it, and then he just comes out, and then he jumps up dressed as a frog with a frog on his hand, and just starts running around the restaurant trying to put this frog in your face like this. It's honestly, it's wild. You have to look for it. It's on YouTube, Kagaya Bar. It is fucking mad. I think
I saw footage of like, wasn't the like state champs documentary or something?
Yeah, that's the place. That's the place.
Yeah, I saw, he was hassling pals.
Yeah, oh my fucking God. It was Pal's birthday, and he was the target every single time. Pals was like, he was after Pals, and Pals hates attention like that in public, and he would not leave him alone. It still haunts him to this day. Pals is our drum tech and like really good friend. But yeah, he hates even people mentioning it to him nowadays. Like it still sets him off. He's like, I fucking hated that. I can't believe we went there on my fucking birthday.
Amazing.
I'm gonna have to watch this fucking video. Oh, yeah. Sounds hilarious. Right. Shall we go on to, before we call it nighty night, Dan, I would love to get some quick thoughts from you on what games you're looking forward to playing first before the year is up. And then let's end. This is something I want to do with everything from now on. So West, never let me forget. I want all of our fucking guests to tell me their 5 favorite video games and why. But before that, like what's coming out for the rest of the year that you're looking forward to playing?
Rest of the year, it's mainly my backlog, to be fair. Like I've just got myself a gaming PC, and I've just started. I've got Chivalry 2 that I need to play. I need to play the new DLC in Red Dead 2. What else? There's loads of stuff. Oh, Lego Lord of the Rings. That's years old, but I've got that now. I don't know what is coming. Like the only game that I'm really, really looking forward to is Elden Ring, and that's next year.
The Sky
like January next
Sword,
year.
And I never played that, so I'm still kind of like, do I get it? Because I seem to be. There was loads of mixed reactions. And then all the fucking reviews went up today on Metacritic, and it was just like a straight like 9-10. So it's like, is it
really?
a bad game, or is it just because?
Really?
Yeah.
It's bad because of the motion controls. That's why I didn't finish it.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe it'll be good then. I just don't have fond memories of it. I felt like the world design was a bit weird compared to other Zelda games and stuff, but maybe I'll enjoy it now. I mean, I'm probably going to fucking buy it. It's the same thing again, and it's Nintendo syndrome when you just chat shit about it, but you buy it day one.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, every time.
I feel that's what put me off it in the first place. It's just I don't want to play Zelda with motion controls. Can I just not play with a controller, please? But if they've sorted that out, then I'll probably get it too.
Yeah. See you Friday.
Yeah. In line complaining about it.
Yeah.
And then gone.
Favorite five games.
Favorite video games of all time and why?
Okay, so out of the From Software, like Dark Souls 3 and Sekiro, they're like instantly like top tier favorite games for reasons I mentioned, and just like the level design, the bosses, the feeling you get when you actually achieve beating a boss. Like not many other games have that. Like you just go through the motions of beating the boss. It feels very scripted, but with those there's a skill check, and if you're not good enough, you're not completing that boss. So when you beat it, you're like, oh sick, I've learned something, I'm pretty good at that thing. So yeah, it just feels like an actual achievement to beat those games. So Cuphead, mainly similar sort of thing, but the art style, I love it. I love being abused by games. Yeah. I just love being in a mood in front of a screen. But yeah, like when it first got announced, like E3, like 2016 or something, and it was just like Spotify playback pause while transmitting audio. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, right. I don't know. I'm confused. Yeah, in like 2016 when that first E3 trailer dropped, and I was like, whoa, what is that? And it was just a little bit of like just a concept where it was fighting like I think his actual name's Goopy Legrand, which is just like that big blue blob. Yeah. And I was like, I need that. I love that art style, 1930s drawings and all that. I love. So like I kept an eye on it, and it eventually dropped, and I just had to play it constantly. I bought the soundtrack. I bought as many like prints and all the merch I could. I've got like it's insane.
Soundtrack is because the guy's like, a percussionist, isn't he? I think the composer's like a percussionist by that's his go-to kind of thing, and just just the rhythms and stuff, just everything in that soundtrack is just he's mad. It's like.
One of them, there's a level like where one of the bosses like an actress on stage, and for that soundtrack they got an actual tap dancer in to do parts of the rhythm for the song. It's like it's mad ideas they had, and like how they built on like the 1930s orchestra and cartoons and stuff, and just built this fucking insane game from it. I've bought that game 3 times. Like I've got it on Switch. I had it on Xbox One. I got it on PC. I fucking love it. I was going to buy the soundtrack on vinyl, but it was 150 quid, and it's like,
the price has gone up insanely.
They had. So I got one off Amazon for 40, but it was like they've repressed it, so it's not. The original was maybe like a 4 LP. Or something, or it was maybe more boxed. There was something special about it, but they've just kind of done like a standard plain black run. It was in the style of old records, so like it would come in a box that those records would have come in, and like all those sort of things. Like it was perfectly in the style of the one I got was just music. The sleeve was just kind of like still the traditional kind of like red background, I think, with like the logo on and stuff. But yeah, it was like you get this with video game records sometimes, where you'll just get like a couple of copies popping up on Amazon for like a decent price. So you just check Amazon every now and again. Like, because I got that, to be fair, I got it anyway, because I'm a little bastard, but could have sold you it if I'd have known.
What do you like?
Shame.
What do you like?
Money.
Fucking cheating on Dark Souls, fucking flipping vinyls. You are the worst type of cunt. Other 2 favorite games are very, very like on the opposite end of the spectrum. Is Mario Kart Double Dash and 8. They're together, I feel, because like obviously it's the same series, but those are the 2 games that I've clocked the most hours in. Like Double Dash, it was like excitement in the GameCube days. I remember I wrote a list of every single character that I wanted to play and every single card combination on each cup, and then oh, well, once I've finished that one, I've unlocked this guy, so I'll do this to that. And I wrote a list even before the game came out. And I was just like, this is what I'm going to do for this. I was so excited for that game. And I just clocked hours into it. And then 8, I mean, we are due another Mario Kart, a proper one, not a fucking mobile game.
I think that'll happen. That's the thing that pissed me off about 8 on the Switch. It sounds like a real fucking pedantic thing to be pissed off about, but I didn't like the fact that everything was unlocked from the start on the Switch version.
Yeah,
that's kind of why I play a Mario Kart game, because I like that grind of unlocking stuff kind of thing. But the fact I had everything straight away was like, but one, it's an amazing game, but two, the music in Mario Kart 8, it's all live recorded. If you're listening to this now, just head onto YouTube and just type in Mario Kart 8 like live soundtrack, and they've got loads of studio sessions up. There's a really fucking amazing jazz fusion band called T-Square, who are like absolutely massive. Their drummer sessions on a lot of the tracks in Mario Kart 8. And just the arrangements of the tracks themselves and just some of the melodies they're doing. Like, have you seen those YouTube channels where like they dissect video game music and look at like what the melodies are using and like what the rhythm's doing and stuff? And it's just basically like proper video game music geeks who are like proper music theory nuts as well, just kind of going, this is why this track is so sick, because the composer's doing this or that, and like it's 8-bit music theory. They've done some really cool stuff on the Mario Kart soundtrack, but oh my, it's so good. It's so good. I listen to it while I'm driving, which gets really dangerous, to be honest.
There he is, fucking drifting and chucking mushrooms out.
Kind of works for bananas. The other ones is a little bit more more questions need to be asked.
Vicious. No, what else then? If you're calling them 2.
SSX Tricky.
Nice.
Like, I was listening to the episode you did with Ben the other day with Tony Hawk's, and I had Tony Hawk's 3 and I loved it, but SSX Tricky was more my thing. I just fucking love that game. Again, the soundtrack is sort of just encapsulated early 2000s with just like just trance and club and all that sort of stuff, and just pulling off insane tricks really well on stupid.
I think it hold up.
It had that same feel of the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games, where just that sense of satisfaction you got from nailing a trick and just the whole physics of that game. It was like, it was good. Like,
I
love that.
I played 3 and World Tour, and they were good, but they didn't feel as ridiculous as Tricky.
Yeah.
I don't know, just like the characters weren't as memorable, or like obviously you could do like the like you could manual on 3 or on 3, so you could like combo tricks together. But with Tricky, it was just like go off a jump, do a bunch of cool tricks, and if you don't land on a rail, that's it, over. But the characters, the music, the tracks, everything was just like, that was my childhood. That was like me and my sister playing SSX Tricky for hours on the PS2.
So good. Well, we're gonna have to do. I'm gonna do like future episodes. I want to look at SSX Tricky. I want to look at Need for Speed. I want to do FIFA, even though I know fuck all about FIFA.
Oh, mate, me and you are going to be out of our fucking depth on about that. Let's get
funny because I kind of like those games have been like, we bang on about the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater soundtracks, but I think FIFA had the same effect on a lot of people as well. Like, Uni later on. I'm not saying like back in the day, but I think like the latest FIFA, like in the last decade of FIFA games, like there's been some fucking decent tracks on there.
There's a few bangers on each FIFA. Like, it's not to the stage of bangers on Tony Hawk's. Like,
nothing's going to ever reach that stage.
1 through 4, even. Oh yeah, I was going to say, like, both Undergrounds and Wasteland, they've all got insane soundtracks. I think all 7 have got songs that are just sort of like bangers.
Underground went more like hardcore punk though and stuff as well, didn't it? I think it was a lot more hip hop. There were definitely harder soundtracks. Like, but I think I was growing up more then, so I don't think they had the same impression on me because I was older. Maybe I was playing more games. Back to what we were saying earlier, like when I had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1, 2, 3, and 4, I didn't have that many other games to play at. Do you know what I mean? So it was just like, I just played those fucking games religiously. But yeah. Right. Well, let's leave it there. Dan, it's been an absolute fucking pleasure. It's nice being.
This was really fun.
This is the first time I've actually properly catched up in like fucking what? Like
since 2013.
Nice to see you.
Oh, just a while then.
Just a bit.
Just 8 years.
Yeah, just since we toured together. That fucking tour was a bit of a non-starter for the old Palm Reader boys. Fucking Heart and Hand and Demoralizer, super good friends, and then there's just us. Like, oh yeah, we're a scrappy hardcore band.
We had fun.
We'll open for you. Yeah, it was good fun playing fucking Riverside in Selby
venue.
Where?
The Riverside in Selby. Yeah.
Who the fuck booked a date in Selby? Where is Selby?
Where's somewhere near Leeds? I think.
Near me. It's near all. It's across the bridge, isn't it? Where's Selby?
Yeah, it's just on the fucking bank.
Down the bank, apparently. There we go.
Okay.
It's not really a hot touring destination, though, is it, Selby?
Not at all.
No, it's fucking too busy.
Played there twice.
Swanning off and fucking download or something.
Fucking hell, Ombler. Sorry, we're talking about weird places. Do you remember when we played Polton in that youth centre?
Oh, what was it, the YMCA? Yeah.
Yeah, do you remember that?
Weird, yeah.
Yeah, weird. The fucking boys in Boston Manor put that show on. Yeah, I was talking to them about it at Download. And I brought up something about, we were talking about weird gigs. Like, yeah, we played in a place called fucking Polton once. And they were like, fuck off, that's where we live. I was like, what show was it? And what band were you in? And we told them, and they were like, we put that show on. I was like, fucking hell, I had no idea.
How old are the Boston Manor boys?
They're similar age to us. Some of them are a bit older.
I was going to say, maybe this is not them, but I swear it was Polton or did we get paid in Polton?
I don't fucking know. We probably didn't.
There was a
you probably did.
Fair, this is like the one thing I always fucking like. I've got a lot of fucking respect for Nath. I respect him more for like whenever the promoter would do that thing and say, right, I used to promote gigs when I was younger. If I didn't break even or whatever else when I was like fucking 16, 17, and I understand everyone can't do this, but I'd be like, right, ma'am. Soz, but I'm going to need to borrow like 50 quid. To be fair, I never had to do that, but I would have done that kind of thing, because if you make a contractual agreement, to be fair, it wasn't a fucking contractual agreement. It wouldn't be a fucking contractual agreement of fucking stuff. But you know what I mean? If you make those agreements with someone, if you're getting a band to travel to your city, like you fucking give them money if you've agreed to pay them. And whenever we had, I don't know what it was like in fucking like, I don't know what it's like with you now, but and like same with you, Wes, like, and when you were in Spires as well. But if we didn't get paid, Nathan just go, right then, where's the nearest cash point? Because we're gonna have to go there. The amount of people that Nathan walked down to a cash point and fair fucking played to him, because it's kind of like when you're on tour and you're all fucking skint at the time. Yeah. It's like you need that fucking money. Like.
Well, we were probably on that fucking tour. I don't know what we were getting paid. We were probably getting paid like 20 quid a night or something. So if we didn't get paid, it's like, well, fucking, what a big loss anyway. We're not fucking, oh no, what are we going to do? Fucking hell. We had no money coming in. We got none going out. Fucking hell. Yeah.
The weirdest fucking gig, real quickly. I'll never forget, there was a venue in Blackpool that we played. It was us, Desolated, and I can't remember whoever else. We turned up to the venue and the landlord was asleep on the table, jeans on, no t-shirt, just fucking sparkered, tab ends everywhere. And we just rocked up, just like, do we wake him up? Do we wait for him to get up? I mean, we've kind of loaded in already, so do we just move around him, or
it's that awkward feeling of loading in pubs that like have people who have no idea what's going on. Like you get there about 4 and you're just like, hello, we're the band for this evening.
Quick, then weirdest fucking story you've had, or funniest story relating to loadings or venues.
Us?
Dan.
All right. Fucking not like loading specifically, but I remember there was a so in 2013 we did a tour in Scandinavia with Bleed From Within, and we still call it like the best worst tour ever, because it was like you're touring Scandinavia with your mates, like this is brilliant, you're on holiday, but the guy who promoted it didn't fucking promote it at all. No one knew that any of the shows was going on, so we were just going around playing to effectively no one. Never sorted out any sort of payments. Like it got to the point where, like,
name? Real quickly,
he bailed.
Really familiar. I think we had that in like Copenhagen.
Oh no,
and a couple of places like that.
Let's not dog him on the podcast. We'll do it afterwards. We'll ask him after, because I've got an inkling as to who it might be. So
I don't know his name, so if you have an inkling of his name, then fucking go for it. It might ring a bell.
Maybe,
but
I don't know.
I've got so many stories from that tour. One of them is like a very, very long story that's probably not best told on here, but it's a very funny story. But yeah, it was getting to the point where our manager at the time was just like, first show, it's like, okay, well, how are the rest of the show is going to be? And then like after like show 5, we're in, I want to say Oslo, and we put all our stuff on stage, ready to play, sat down, ready to go. And he said, "You're not playing a fucking note until we get paid." And like, there was people like the only time that like any people were to see Palm Reader was in Oslo. So we had these people that are like, we've come to see you, and it just feels so shitty. Yeah. So well, we're not gonna play until we get our money. It's like, well, you've traveled, you want to see us. So we did that, and then I think maybe like 2 days after that show, he then mysteriously disappeared from the tour. Like he didn't organize any places to stay, and in the last show in our I don't know. Someone probably fucking killed him. I haven't heard from him since. And in our house, our manager went in, got the money, and we just went. Which just feels really bad. But we just left. Drove fucking 14 hours to play Butzer Fest, which was a load of fun.
Wes, go on then.
Right, baddest one was, I just checked where it was. We played in Spain in 2018 in Madrid. So we just done a UK tour, all went well. Went to Europe, all was fine. We were in Barcelona. First time we played Spain, it was cool. Bit weird. Security weren't like the best, like catching people and stuff. Whatever, cool. We're doing it on a bus, which is obviously like a very nice luxury. But I remember being sat up one morning, crew we pulled up at the venue. I was in my gruds, was making a coffee, I had to sit down, and then I remember the crew coming in going, "You're not going to fucking believe what inside looks like." And we were like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I've just come back from the venue now. Look at this." Gets his phone out, and they're still building the venue. Like, it's not been built. Like, the stage is being held up by bricks. Our guitar tech lifts this curtain up, and then you just hear some man in the background, "Don't touch the fucking bricks," like that. And he's like, "This is about 11 in the morning." And they're like, "It'll be done by 3. And it's like, it'd be done by 3? It's not fucking, there's not got a floor. Like, what's going to be done? You're going to finish building a fucking venue by 3:00 in the afternoon. Like, they had scaffolding up, like putting stuff up. There was just shit and tools all over the floor, dust everywhere. It's a fucking hell hazard. So we couldn't play that. Well, somehow we got in touch with the local promoter, and we were like, "Are you having a laugh? We can't fucking play there. Like, it looks like Bob the Builder lives here. Like, we can't, there's no possible way we can play a gig here." So he somehow, with all the crew and everything, rang around a load of bars, because this show was like sold. Like there was like, it was like there were no tickets left, sold out. So it had to happen. We couldn't just be on the day be like, "Sorry, we can't do the gig because the venue hasn't. There's construction happening. We can't." And we've only just found out this morning. So we managed to find some. I think it was like a weird like country bar somewhere that had like a tiny stage at the back that was no PA at all. So we had to find a PA and a venue in one afternoon, and we just got there, and the gig was sick in the end, because it was just, there was no barrier or anything, and just, it must have been, I think it was like 600 or 700 people there, which was cool. And then it was just a day off for the crew at that point. We had fucking, it was just who was going to do what. So someone would pass me a guitar 1 minute, the next guitar change, it'd be a different person. We had our fucking merch guy just stood there with a beer trying to figure out how to do lights. It was so funny, but like, yeah, it just turned up to literally a building site.
Love that.
Yeah.
Right, let's call it there then. Dan, again, thanks a lot. It's been fucking sick catching up with you.
Absolute pleasure. Love this.
Godspeed getting to the end of Sekiro. Don't stick it out if it gets too difficult. Just be the bigger man and just know when to put down the pad and sell. I
have a feeling he's going to stick with it. He's committed more than we are.
Yeah, I've got to platinum all of these games. I've got to do it before I die. Even if it kills me, I've got to do it.
If you do it, I want fucking get that screen capture. Get the video, and send it across.
I'll be a husk. I would have gone hollow, as the games say.
There we go.
Absolutely.
Right. Until next time. And thank you, everyone, for listening. Really hope you enjoyed this week. If you haven't already, please follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. You can find us at loading_podcast. Don't forget that underscore. It's really important. You need that underscore in there. Get the underscore in, or you won't find us. And yeah, and the profile picture is a nice little cab with some beers on top saying loading, so you'll know you've got the right profile if you see that.
Nice.
Right. Toodaloo, thank you. Toodaloo, fucking hell. Toodaloo.